I'm Noemi Enchautegui de Jesus. I teach a community psychology course that is CB.
I'm Amanda Chaka. I'm a professorial lecturer in the Writing Studies program.
My name is Rashawn Thomas. I graduated in 2016. I was a business major, and the CBL course that I took was Latinos in the DC metro area.
My motive to do this is that I feel is the best way to understand some of the things we're talking about in class, and so that it is not this abstract idea of, in community psychology we talk a lot about how social systems and organizations and factors outside the person impact the well-being of an individual, but sometimes you have to be out there to see how that work gets done instead of just reading about it. And so this gives them that opportunity, and then they try to reflect on how that work is connecting to what they're learning in class.
I get really excited to see my students understand something in a different way in a service learning course than they would if we just read a textbook.
I feel compelled to do it because this idea of experiential learning, that you are actually outside of the classroom, engaging in these issues, whatever the issue is that your organization is working on. I feel there's no 3 credit per se that you can that is so valuable. That it's I feel that you have to try to do it if you can for a class.
I can give you an Atlantic article about standardized testing. I can give you a scholarly article about standardized testing. I can give you a trade article about standardized testing. But to see an 8-year-old in tutoring every week struggle with standardized testing and complain to you during tutoring and stress to you during tutoring and realize that their funding for their school may be determined by standardized testing, that's a different kind of knowledge. You can read articles about poverty. You can watch a TED Talk about poverty. But to work in a low-income community and to volunteer with people who are navigating this every single day is a different kind of understanding.
So I was at DC Doors, which started out as the Latino Transitional Housing Partnership. So they were focused on providing housing to single parents, single Latino moms or dads, especially ones that had kids. I think it impacted me in many different ways. Obviously, I really enjoyed the work that we were doing there. Every day we were reminded of the need that they have and how helpful what we were doing was. They didn't just throw us in an office in the back somewhere. We got to do house visits. We got to meet the kids. So we would refer to the clients by the first name as well because we actually knew them. And I thought that makes the work all the more meaningful. In AU especially, we're in a Tenleytown bubble, so it's hard to think outside of that. And some of us might intern, but we're not seeing all of what DC has to offer, essentially. And so working with organizations that really need the help, especially nonprofits here in the area, is a very good way to explore outside of that bubble. And I think CBL is important because it allows you to do that. It kind of takes unconventional things that you wouldn't think about in class, applying those skills to organizations that really need them. And I think the ability for students to get a lot out of it, as well as the organization and the class too. I don't think I could have been where I am today without a lot of the skills that I learned in DC Doors, and through the class integrating all of that was very, very informative for me.
I think the big thing is there will be awkward moments. This is the thing that excites me about CB classes. There should be space so everyone in the classroom can grow, but there should also be space where everyone can feel respected and acknowledged. There should be that 3-way learning going on. And I think that's the big thing that I've realized over the last few years, especially when it comes to those more challenging moments in the classroom. We all have to acknowledge that this is really hard work. And part of the reason CB classes matter so much right now in this climate is many of us have not been doing that work for years.
The other reflection that was true of many other reflections in the classroom was this ignited passion that they felt after being there. They wanted to do more, do something as students. So I think those are ways in which this experiential learning can really impact students. If it fits, like you said, more naturally, why not to try it? And I think there may be more classes out there where it could be a good fit.